Best of nothingness. Best not to leave anything useful behind.
Catastrophic damage.
are discovered.
Can't believe you found me.
You seem to have weathered that trek well enough. Were you able to find anything at the facility? Not a lot to go on. Monica, anything you can do with this?
I can take a look. Oh, it's encoded. Made to look scrambled. And done badly. Looks like... there. Seems there were 2 of them. Oh my god. It's all here. The accidents, the kidnapping, Greg's attack. These 2, they did it all.
Any mention of who they are? They're not with the construction crew, are they?
No names. But there are a pair of ID numbers. They're with the Trackers Alliance.
The Alliance sent 2 bounty hunters? Here? What? Our bounties are all paid.
I'm not seeing an Alliance contract or documentation. I think this is off the books.
Trackers. Consider yourselves lucky to still be alive.
It appears we have been fortunate. But it does beg the question. So, a couple of trackers have decided to haunt us on their own free time. Why?
Doesn't say. It's really not that impressive. Used to sell these on the semi-regular in my old life. A cheating spouse wants to document all their flings without fear of their partner finding out? Just use one of these bad boys. It's computer hacker 101 stuff. And it sure doesn't explain why they've decided to harass us.
That certainly seems in the realm of possibility.
So then this is an easy fix. They're bounty hunters. We pay them to leave us alone.
And make ourselves a target for every other hunter in the universe. We need to take a stand.
Says the one guy physically incapable of taking one.
We're not doing anything until we actually find them. Any mention in there of where our trackers might be now?
Sounds like they're on a supply run, outside the system.
Then we got a little time. Given their background, and ours, I expect you're the only person here they might actually listen to. Would you be willing to act as an emissary on our behalf?
Slate's not big on details. There's two of them, they're clearly armed, but that's about all we've got to go on.
But trackers aren't usually the type to take prisoners when it's not required. So the fact that they've thus far remained largely non-violent, well, it means they might be willing to negotiate. With the right person, of course. Which I think, in this case, is you. I'm sure we can find a way to solve this issue, which won't require bloodshed.
Let's just pay them and be done with it. I mean, we clearly need more manpower anyway. I'll hire them on as contractors.
To hell with that. We know where they live. Let's have our friend here get the drop on them and send them to the great beyond.
The last thing we need is the galaxy thinking that's how we solve our problems around here, Mr. D'Angelo. I would request you try to avoid any violence. But if you're looking for suggestions on how to proceed, well, it seems we've got opinions to spare. Be careful with these trackers. You don't get into their line of business without a vicious streak. Love, I can only guess at what these two might be after. But it's clear they perceive something about us as a threat. They're afraid. And all you can do with fear is try and understand it. So, just listen to them, okay? Hear what they have to say. And see if you can make whatever it is they're worried about a little less scary. Good luck out there.
You looking for my suggestion? I don't think they're gonna respect anything other than force. But I think Sloane's not gonna be happy if you handle it that way.
You would be correct, Mr. D'Angelo.
Did I mention thanks for taking these two on? Had to deal with my fair share of their kind over the years. You don't get into that job to make it rich. You get into it to be your own boss and prove how tough you are. So, my advice? Let them know that pushing around a bunch of counselors just makes them look like bullies, not tough. Be careful with those goons.
Thank you again for doing this. I'm counting the moments until it's all over. I think you should offer them money, and I'm willing to help. Here, all I have liquid at the moment. Hopefully it'll be enough. Take care, please.
Ah, a face I never mind seeing. What can I do for you? I know that tone. Very well. What is it? Thank you, dearest. You are not so bad yourself. Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
kicked out of the Crimson Fleet, and now it's time for me to take everything from you! Ha! I'd like to see you try. I almost made it into the Crimson Fleet, and got a crack at some real money. Then, you had to open your big mouth! You stole everything from me, and I'm here to steal it all back! Kill him! Leave nothing left but space dust!
I will never grow weary of seeing places like this. It seems local fauna has been nesting here. Caves like this can be an excellent way to conceal the presence of an illegal operation. I should know. hope wherever you store that the smell will not be an issue. There might be something of value here.
Who's that?
You. Who are you and what the hell are you doing here? And just who the holy hell are you?
See? I told you Kilman was gonna lead them to us. Should have slit his throat when we had the chance.
Quiet. Listen, unless you're here to tell us those convicts have decided to close up shop, then we've got nothing to discuss. I couldn't care less about the cons. They can huff fish innards until they rot for all we care. But this retreat, if they actually succeed, keep criminals out of the bounty system, well, the galaxy probably doesn't need so many trackers at that point, does it? And then maybe the big boys like the UC and the Collective set up programs of their own, just like Helios. Put us all out of a job. Now, better to nip it in the bud now before it becomes a threat. Which is why I'm not interested in discussing anything except the date and time they're shutting their doors.
It is a reasonable request. You would do well to consider it.
That's so. What? That's not what this is. We're tough. We have been out here a while. Fine. We'll leave the retreat alone. Can't make any promises about us being the last, though. Just get out, all right?
can't believe you found him.
There you are. You were gone for quite a while, love. Are you all right? Were you able to find our trackers? That's the best news I've had in quite a while. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, love. This place, all of us, we are in your debt. There is just one last piece of business, though. Nevin asked to speak to you, in private. He's waiting for you up in the office.
Ah, there you are. So, first things first, I need to say, well, thank you. And we are exceedingly grateful for it. It's just, the situation you set right, with the trackers, it's one we don't want to find ourselves in again. Luckily, we have someone, our founding donor in fact, who has offered to reach out to the Alliance, ensure their good behavior going forward. Before she does, however, she's asked for the details of what exactly occurred. I've already shared my own insights, but, well, she wants to talk to you too. Is that something you might be amenable to? Our benefactor has said she'd prefer to do the introductions herself. But you can rest assured she wants only to thank you in person, hear your side of the story. Nothing more sinister than that. Ah, she'll be pleased to hear it. Head to Aquila City in the Cheyenne system. Check in with Justin Sneed, her security chief. And I would ask you to try and be polite. She's the only reason we're here.
If it were not for the Lodge, I think I would avoid this city. It is all just too much.
Constellation is no stranger to loss. Our own founder left on an expedition and never returned. It is easy to talk about the glory and excitement of breaching into the unknown, of lighting the darkness. But it is harder to stare into the face of the cost. That all of our progress is built on top of the lives of those who dared. And that we owe them the courage to continue our work in their memory.
Thank you, Sarah. If anyone else would like to say a few words. Thank you. If anyone else wants to say something.
Hey, how are
you holding up? Just don't forget to take time for yourself, okay?
I thought maybe
Plenty of rooms if you need to sit down and be alone for a while. We'll get through this. It might feel like everything's falling apart, but that's why we need to stick together.
That gave me comfort
Anytime.
a long time ago. Is God real?
When you have a moment,
The more proper
I'd like to
question
speak to
would
you.
be, is reality divine? Existence itself is a mystery which yearns to be uncovered. What is goodness but a comparison to the good? What is existence but a participation in being? For where the diversity of the universe inspires awe and wonder, it exists only in contrast to a simplicity so pure that it may only be understood as primordial and even divine. Our essence is what was imagined by its mind, but what we consider imagining and what we consider mind are in fact so far beyond our understanding that even these metaphors are like the tiny whitecaps on a massive surging sea. There's more, but those are the parts that speak to me the most. Thank you.
That was really thoughtful, Mateo. Thank you. Does anyone else want to say anything?
I don't often speak about what I believe in. It seems so redundant with how I live. But death is one of those occasions where it's hard not to look inward. Our friend is gone. There's no afterlife or second meetings. No God in heaven that is curating a perfect ending for them. So it's up to us. We are what lives on. If the pain of loss inspires us to greater action, then that is the good that comes from all this. Humanity is what truly creates our world. We are the ones that judge things to be good or evil, joyful or mournful. Let us take responsibility for it. Let us remember what we have lost.
Walter, are you part of the House of Enlightenment? I never knew that.
Yes, well, I like to keep some things private. However, I know Barrett would have appreciated the sentiment.
I don't believe we've met. Ajay Mamasa, former chair of Constellation. I wish the circumstances of my visit were better. Unfortunately, this isn't the first Constellation funeral I've been to. After 35 years, you say goodbye to a lot of friends. I hope you don't mind me saying, but I feel numb just thinking about it. I was the one who invited Barrett to join. Oh, he was so brilliant. Even if the rest of us couldn't always keep up. Oh, yes. I was Sebastian Banks's protege. If that gives you any idea of how long I was part of our little club. Exactly the same as when you met him, I bet. Oh, smiles. Saying just the wrong thing at just the right time. You don't mentor someone like Barrett as much as you let him go and try to contain the damage later, eh? yes. I officiated his wedding. Ah, young Irvin. I told him he was signing up for a lot with Barrett, but he didn't care. I bet relationships in Constellation are still messy, aren't they? We're more of a family than an organization. All the former lines bleed together. It makes the losses sting harder. But I hope it means the time you had together was all the more important. That's how I like to think of it, anyway. Knew him, argued with him, tried to carry on his memory when he vanished. Sebastian will be back tomorrow, we always used to say. It reminded us that he was still here, in the bones of this old building.
I hope this is all okay. Between fixing things up and sending out messengers and getting all the paperwork done. It's not much. Good. Good. Sorry, if I talk any longer, I'm gonna start crying. Could you excuse me?
Chat for a bit? Normally, I hate talking to people at funerals, but, well... You don't believe in the afterlife, do you? I mean, this might be the worst time to bring it up, but... Yes. Won't we all? Well, I've taken up enough of your time.
It almost feels wrong to be grieving. Selfish. No amount of tears will bring the dead back. It's just easier to feel guilty, if you'll excuse me.
I will be monitoring everyone's vitals for signs of continued trauma. I am told these types of gatherings are a sad occasion. That assumption appears to be correct. I appreciate you verifying my analysis, although I am certain my thanks will do little to improve your current psychological trauma. If you would like, though, I can add some consoling language to my programming. It will take some time to adapt, but it will be okay. How was that? I will note that feedback for later. Individual depression can be considered a disease, but collective depression is considered
Hi.
therapeutic.
No. And don't keep asking. I'm not gonna be, alright? Everything's worse now. So many people here. So many people saying goodbye. Is this supposed to make everything okay? Make everyone feel better? It's just... it doesn't change anything, does it? I just feel like I want to be a million light years away from everyone. I want to be alone for a while, okay?
Everyone is in mourning. I understand, but I cannot quite share in their emotion. I have seen death I have lost people I considered close. But this is... It is not the same. I cannot explain why. I am not sure I am making sense. Thank you.
Is it quieter in the lodge, or is it just me? I guess it's good to be in fashion. You know, there's an old Aquila story about two pioneers who got lost trying to find a new frontier to settle. One of them takes ill. Clear he's not gonna make it, he turns to his partner and says, "Don't bury me. Let the ground take what it's due. I'd rather be a ghost chasing after you than walk through the pearly gates knowing an eternity of loneliness until you get there." Sad story, huh? You look after yourself.
Drink? Pour one out to the blackest sea? Two old friends. May their ghosts go past the edges of space, to the great beyond. Aye.
Hi. Please disregard. I attempted an
Yes?
informal
You need something?
but I am...
I have sharpened the blade for this very...
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Tower's closed. Come back some other time. You're them, huh? I've got 2 rules for this little meeting. Rule number 1, you're not to share anything you discuss up there. This is a private matter, and we're going to keep it that way. Rule 2, you decide to get playful with that weapon, we're going to have serious problems. Think you can abide by those? Good. Miss Lance is waiting upstairs. You can go on up.
And that must make you our guest. Please, take a seat. Now, you may already know who I am. Raisha Lance, CEO Laredo Firearms. And you, I know all about. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for the retreat. Truly, it's a project that's near and dear to my heart. I'm not the sole donor, but yes, the retreat is a project I've been trying to foster for some time now. My attempt to improve the plight of humanity, even if just in a minor way. Which is why I'm so thankful for your intervention on its behalf. Now, I presume Nevin already got you up to speed. I need details before I talk to the heads of the Trackers Alliance. Make sure their members understand the retreat's off limits. So if you don't mind, I'd like to just jump right into it. Lily here will be taking notes as we go. Now, Nevin said all the various incidents afflicting the retreat, they all stemmed from this pair of rogue bounty hunters. Do I have that right? There were a streak of thefts and accidents leading up to Mr. Kilman's kidnapping. We'd presumed they were just bad luck or local fauna. Ixel's not exactly the most hospitable of worlds, but Nevin made it sound as if those bounty hunters might have been responsible for it all. And I was hoping you could confirm if that was the case or not. Ah, I'll be sure that's noted. But you did manage to get those 2 to leave the retreat alone. You mind my asking how you accomplished that? Two trackers and you just talked them down? That's quite the feat. I'm interested in the details, though. How exactly did it all play out? I'm sure it was. I've dealt with trackers. They tend to be a focused sort. So, only other thing I wanted to ask, and I'm just looking for an opinion here, is there anything in your eyes that could have been done to prevent this happening? After everything I've heard from you and Nevin, I'm inclined to agree. It'll take time to get the right people in place for this kind of work, but I'll make sure it's addressed. But that should give me enough to present to the Alliance. Thank you for making the time. Now, what you did, well, it deserves something more than just a couple of firm thank yous. Here, I want you to have these. They're a rare make, but I think you've earned it. Now, was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we went our separate ways? It's something that's been on my mind for a while now. How best to help the galaxy's incarcerated population? Humanity's tried plenty of bad ideas. Throwing them in jail and forgetting about them. The UC gave that a go way back when. Took all their criminals to a penal colony on Suvorov and left them to their own devices. Well, those folks didn't appreciate that sort of treatment, took over the colony, and now we call them the Crimson Fleet. Next, we tried making them pay fines instead of going to jail. Except if you don't have the money, that's no sort of improvement at all, is it? Bad idea after bad idea. I thought it was time we tried something new. That's where the plans for the retreat came from. Our attempt at doing things different. You make lots of friends in my position. Friends in the Freestar Collective, friends in the UC. The sort of people with influence over things. Like, say, how much a locality is allowed to spend on Alliance contracts each quarter.
When the Alliance heads grasped that it's better for us all to be friends, I expect they'll leave the retreat well enough alone. That's kind of you, but without your help, it might have stayed just a goal. You have my sincere thanks. Now if you'll excuse me, as you've seen, there's plenty to be done.
Keep everything on the level, and we'll get along.
count this incident as the second time I've saved you.
It's not a competition, Sam.
Sure it isn't. So there's that time at the asteroid belt, the one on Neon. So, I still owe you 3, Lillian.
4. You always forget that cargo freighter with the explosives.
4. Definitely 4, then.
But, Captain, in all seriousness, your help is appreciated. Do me a favor. Next time I want to come to the rescue. Is Cora on board?
Mom!
Oh, babe girl. It's so good to hear your voice.
Can we come over and visit?
Sadly not now, honey. I'm still on the clock.
Crime never sleeps.
At this point, I'd settle for a cat nap. I am planning a proper vacation one day. I hear Paradiso was nice.
Is this the famous vacation you've been planning since before I met you?
Always with the wisecracks. Captain, nice moves. It's good to know my daughter's in good hands.
What about me?
What about you, Sam? I'm kidding. You always said I need to have a better sense of humor.
Forget I ever mentioned that.
Take care.
Certainly less auspicious than New Atlantis, is it not?